Crypto.com's Cronos chain had a massive announcement, another strategic partner. And it feels like almost every day, every other day at least, that we're getting a new partner, whether it's, somebody using them for actual custody or this story that I want to talk about today. Cronos is collaborating with Amazon Web Services. Again, let's talk a little bit about this story and another partnership that I think everybody needs to be aware of when it comes to crypto.com. Chris announcing something from X today that I think we got to get into regarding crypto.com becoming the first major crypto platform to obtain a full stack of CFTC derivatives licenses. What does all this mean? Well, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. This is the Crypto Report. I am Crypto Kip, and let's talk a little bit about these stories, the significance for these stories, and what is going on in the crypto market today. So let's go over to CoinMarket here, Cap, and start with the price of Bitcoin, which is a little lower today than it was yesterday, as well as altcoins. Why are markets coming down today? Well, after we had a wonderful pump over the last 24 hours, and take a peek at the price of Bitcoin here, we are seeing things come down to 113 a little bit. We have the fear going on of a U.S. government shutdown. But besides that, and let's look at Cronos coin real quick. Here's Cronos at 19 cents, kind of holding well right around the 20-cent level, kind of found a bounce around the low 18-cent level. So we're kind of hanging in there. But where are we going to go from here in the short term and through the remainder of this bull market? We're going to discuss that. First, let's talk a little bit about this story right here. So Cronos is collaborating with AWS Cloud, Amazon Web Services, to accelerate institutional adoption of tokenization and RWA. And if you've been paying attention to the crypto space, real world assets and tokenization of stocks on the blockchain and things like this is something that we know is coming in the crypto space. And what we've seen is already crypto.com is leading the charge. Here's another story. I'm going to go back to the Amazon story in a second, but I want to point out how crypto.com is truly leading the charge here when it comes to being the first to market for a lot of things and being one of the biggest players in driving adoption, whether it is being the custodian for some of these crypto treasury companies, or whether it is crypto.com becoming the first major crypto platform to obtain a full stack of CFTC derivatives licenses. Now, Chris, the CEO, tweeted out just in the last 24 hours, actually, what was this? A few minutes ago at the time of this recording. Incredibly proud that crypto.com is the first major crypto platform to obtain these licenses with the CFTC. This will enable us to seamlessly provide clients with the best derivatives trading experience in the market. Watch this space. Thank you for the partnership, acting chairman. And then so there's going to be a space going later today, I think. Watch this space. So I think he's going to be talking more about this. And so this is great. Here they are promoting the brand, discussing these accomplishments. But the real highlight here is crypto.com is very regulatory compliant, so much so that they're the first to market with these stack of CFTC licenses. So when it comes to them collaborating with Amazon Cloud and Amazon Web Services for tokenization and RWA, there is a good chance that they could be first to market with some of this stuff, guys. And look, this is a bullish story. This is very exciting. You might be going, well, Crypto Kip, well, then why isn't Cronos up today? Because the broader market is weak. And what we've been doing on this channel is tracking, some of these moves. We said that Bitcoin dominance could be coming up. And so as that happens, what I expect is, altcoins to show a little weakness compared to Bitcoin. The risk of the government shutdown causes volatility. So we saw Ethereum come down to like $4,000, and we saw Crocoin come down to this 16, it came down to like this, it got down to low 18-cent level. I think it could come down to 16 cents. Still potentially, if Bitcoin continues to slip lower with the risk of the government shutdown, we could have a little bit more of a sell-off in the space. What that means for you, I believe, is trading opportunities. So when I look at this, by the way, there is a new affiliate link in the description with a 10% deposit bonus. So like they will, whatever you deposit to BTCC, they will match it with 10% of whatever you deposit, which is honestly, I think it's an incredible deposit bonus. That's one of the best deposit bonuses I've seen in a while. And they offer that to us to share with you guys, which is super cool. I think it's a temporary thing. So if you're looking for a place to trade the volatility, and let's just say you think Ethereum's coming back down to $4,000, or maybe you think Bitcoin's going to revisit 109, or maybe it's going to touch down to 100K, you can trade, off the bounce there. You could trade it to the downside. You got to pick your own levels, but this is the platform that is giving the juiciest sign up bonus right now. If you haven't checked it out already, it's there for you to do. But you might be saying to yourself, well, hey, why isn't CRO going up anyway? We have this fantastic story, and it is a fantastic story. The reality of the situation is, guys, is altcoins move with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dominance is climbing, then your altcoins are weaker compared to Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin's falling, well, then it's definitely not so good for upward price action, even with tremendous stories like this. There are outliers, like when the President's Media Group partnered with Cronos for an ETF, and we got an ETF coming in October. Perhaps that's going to be an extremely bullish event for Cronos as well. That could be a buy the rumor, sell the news event as well. We'll continue to discuss that as this conversation continues on. There are events that are kind of outliers that could pump a coin. But even with that, we saw Cronos go to 37 cents, and here it is back down at 19 cents today. Nothing goes straight up. There's volatility in this market. That is why I like to trade these moves. But what I do need to focus on is the long-term vision as well, because I'm a Cronos holder. I believe in the future of the Cronos chain. I believe in the future of the Cronos coin. And the fact that Cronos Chain is partnering with Amazon Web Services and has a chance of maybe even being first to market with some of the big solutions when it comes to RWAs and tokenization in a very real way, it's pretty cool. Now, this collaboration has three key pillars: Cronos EVM data on AWS, so making Cronos data easily accessible while building a trusted reporting-ready pipeline for institutions. Again, trying to make it seamless for institutional integration into the Cronos chain. Imagine what that could do for the Cronos chain, and imagine how many more developers that would attract and users, and then utility for the Cronos token, the token for the Cronos chain. Another pillar is Amazon Bedrock plus Crypto.com AI agent. Crypto.com agent SDK developers can access hundreds of foundation models, optimizing performance and costs while enabling smart AI-driven workflows. And then, of course, they've got these going on a lot where there's up to $100,000 in AWS credits per selected startup, supporting Cronos builders to scale tokenization pilots, RWA platforms, DeFi protocols, and AI-powered apps. In other words, they're trying to increase the utility happening on Cronos chain, the growth happening on Cronos chain. They're trying to increase the activity on Cronos chain. And for those of you guys that have been paying attention to my conversation surrounding CRO for years, that's one of the keys to getting Crypto.com's CRO coin to go back to $1 price in the future, to go to a $2 price, or maybe even a $5 price in the future, which at some point in the future, I do believe in the $5 CRO. At some point in the future, despite the unburn, I do believe in the $5 CRO. Do I believe the $5 CRO is going to happen in this bull market? I don't know about that. I think that's a little too optimistic. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but at this stage in the game, I do think we're going to come into a bear market eventually. But to me, that doesn't matter, because if you look at the long-term growth and the actual trajectory of this company, of the possibilities for this token with a Cronos ETF coming and a presidential partnership and all these different things going, and Crypto.com being the first in the US to get the full stack of CFTC derivatives, regulatory hurdles jumped across, it's looking pretty good in my opinion. I love to trade the volatility of this stuff. Right now, CRO coin is a little bit down below this trend line, which was support. Now we are below it, coming back up to it. We could be treating the support as resistance and find lower prices. Be on the lookout for a 16-cent CRO, maybe even coming down to 10 cents if broader weakness happens with the government shutdown and we see Bitcoin continue to slip. It's all possible, guys. Bitcoin dominance is rallying. Maybe there is a little bit of a moment for weakness before we get that blow off top October rally, maybe midway through October. Could happen just right out of the gates in October, but I'm prepared for a potential dip. I still have cash on the sidelines. I got my holding portfolios, I got my trading portfolios, and I got some cash on the sidelines to take advantage of the opportunities as they present themselves in this space. And if you're looking for a place to do some trading, well, there is this new affiliate link with this huge 10% deposit bonus. And that's pretty good. So if you deposit $1,000, you get $100 for free. If you deposit $10,000, then you'd get $1,000 for free. Everybody's got a different stack, and you got to manage your risks accordingly, guys. I am not here to give you financial advice, but the way that I play these markets, I got a holding portfolio, I got a trading portfolio, and at times I've been piling up cash on the sidelines. This is one of those times. So I'm going to keep an eye on this stuff. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. DCA Huddle, my friends. I got 2 videos for you right here if you want to check them out. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.